Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network's production of the North-South Racing League's Street Stock Series presented by Sandi Paws. It is also brought to you by RC2 Promotions and Graphics, Wizards Designs, Austin's Designs, Zoofab Garage, J&G Hardwood Flooring, and Mad Plowing. Alongside me after an exciting race, we've finally got our voices back as we were at the Pensacola Speedway, the Five Flags Raceway down there in Pensacola. Mr. Kelly Dahl, we had a week to recover, but everyone is still talking about last week.
Yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic race last week, and it is going to be hard to follow it up here, but Hickory usually puts on a few good shows here with the street stock, so hopefully we'll have another fantastic race.
It's definitely going to be a good one. This unique racetrack going to provide a lot of side-by-side action, and turn number 2 seems to be the trouble spot here tonight as we take a look at tonight's pre-race information. Again, we are in Hickory, North Carolina, looking to go 45 miles of racing. That's 125 laps for those keeping track at home. They have had 3 late model stock races and 2 street stock races here. The average caution per race, though, Kelly, 14. I think we're going to see less than that here tonight on this little less than a 0.4 of a mile racetrack. Track record currently held by tiny horse Ryan Johnson with a 15.055. And Bryan Hacker has the most wins with 2. And the average race time just under the 1 hour mark. The big news coming in after race number 6, Bryan Hacker back to the top of the heap for the points in a slim margin, just 5 points over Ryan Johnson and Scott Austin, who are tied for second.
Yeah, super tight points race here. It is still anyone's game as we've come into the last 4 races of the season. So it is going to be tight, and it's going to be a battle right to the end.
It's definitely going to be right there to the end of this one. After tonight, we have New Smyrna Lanier and the season-ending race at the Nashville Fairgrounds. It's going to be a great one here tonight as Hickory provides a lot of great action. Kelly, let's talk about the title sponsor for this series, and that is the Sandi Paws Rescue. And I know you're a dog lover. I'm a dog lover. And this group is based out of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. It is a 100% volunteered run. Foster home-based animal rescue dedicated to saving lives of abused, neglected, and unwanted dogs and cats. They provide shelter, medical care, rehabilitation, and loving forever homes for animals in need. Their mission is simple but powerful: to protect the quality of life and improve the well-being of abused, neglected, and unwanted companion animals. If you'd like to help out or become involved with Sandi Paws Rescue, you can find them on the web at sandipaws.org. Give them an email at sandipawsrescue@gmail.com. And that's a great worthy cause, and we're glad to be a part of what they are here tonight for the North-South Racing League Street Stock Series. And it's hard to believe, Kelly, this is race number 7.
Yeah, as mentioned, we are getting down towards the end of the season already, but now it is time to jump into qualifying. We're going to see who's going to be able to set the fast time. I don't think the track record is going to be broken here tonight. The drivers in practice still a couple tenths off of that track record, so it is doubtful that's going to be broken, but we'll see who is going to be able to take home the Owls Speed Shop Fast Time Award.
Yeah, we're going to take and see who's carrying the donkey around the racetrack here tonight as drivers start to get up onto the racetrack for their qualifying time. And this is going to be a good chance to see who is going to be fastest here tonight as some cars getting up to speed. And the first one to take the green flag is going to be the number 9 of Josh Cole. And Cole back in that familiar purple and white number 09 this week as he works down the backstretch for the first time. And Kelly, I know you've turned some limited laps here. This track very tricky. The corners are completely different. 3 and 4 a lot flatter than 1 and 2. And 1 and 2 kind of is just odd shaped. You kind of got to diamond that off a little bit.
And it's also a fairly old surface. It's real bumpy. There's a lot of different bumps and jumps here that can try to throw your car out of whack. But we got a few fast times up on the board right now. It is Josh Cole with a 15.395. A few other drivers looks like they were taking a slow first lap. Brandon Elvis now jumps to the top of the board with a 3.09.
Yeah, Brandon Elvis with a 15.3. Amos Odegard and that beautifully prepared number 60. Joe's on the hood of that one. He gets a little bit loose off of turn number 4, but he'll go second quick so far. Nail Speed Shop qualifying with a 15.37. Elvis still the car to beat here. A lot of guns still to go. His next up onto the racetrack will be the number 1, or the 00, excuse me, of Josh Nelms. Nelms in the 00, working through turns 3 and 4 with that Monte Carlo. He'll come across the stripe and complete lap number 1, and Nelms will be good enough for P number 9 on lap number 1.
Yeah, likely just taking a slow lap to get those tires heated up. Let's see what he's going to have coming across the line this time. Bit of an improvement. He is going to jump up the board into 6th, but is not going to be a threat for the fast time award.
Adam Gebel now up on the racetrack as Bergener goes 5th quick. As we are watching the 91 get a little bit loose there. Last week's winner by the closest margin that we have been a part of here, a .004 for the driver of the number 23. This is Gary Eschen. Eschen out there trying to get some much needed qualifying points. Will have to start relegated at the back of the field. We'll take a look and see what he is going to be able to do.
Have a number of drivers up on the racetrack right now as Eschen comes around that second lap, not faster than his first. Scott Austin now up into 7th place with a 15.411. Dylan Connor now top of the board, 15.253.
Dylan Connor, no surprise there, Kelly, as Dan Janjanin coming across the stripe as he'll put the number 2. And it looks like he'll be 17th quick. Rodney Huntoon out there in a sporting a breast cancer awareness month car, the black and purple, as Bryan Hacker goes 8th quick. Right now, Chad Macleod on the hot seat for make it into the J&D Farms redraw. Huntoon comes across the line, lap number 1, good enough for 20th quick on lap number 1.
Yeah, we got quite the mix. Some drivers go immediately for the fast time right off the bat. Some of them take that first lap real slow, try to see if they can get their tires up to temperature. I mean, Dylan Connor, he has only run the 1 lap. He thought his tires were good enough and he just went for it. As Dustin Shepard now, he gets himself into the redraw with a 4th fastest lap time.
One driver up on the racetrack here with about 30 seconds left in qualifying. It's the 33 of Braiden Campbell as Bryan Hacker on the hot seat of getting knocked out of the J&D Farms Top 8 redraw. Braiden Campbell goes 17th quick on lap number 1. We'll see if lap number 2 is quicker for the Hanner Racing number 33 up off of the corner number 4. And Campbell is going to go 6th quick overall. That will bump out Bryan Hacker off there and knock there. So your top 8, Connor, Elvis, Negus, Shepard, Odegard, Campbell, Johnson, and Cole will be headed to tonight's top 8 redraw as Dylan Connor picks up the Al Speed Shop Fast Time Award here in qualifying. So just like that, it is now time as we head to the dreaded Room of Doom to do our J&D Farms Top 8 redraw. In the J&D Farms, well, it's not your typical sponsor, but we thank them very much, and it is just an average sponsor, J&D Farms, as a brainchild of a self-proclaimed crazy redneck. I don't know. Have you ever met this crazy redneck, Kelly?
Not that one in particular.
No. All right. Well, he thought the iRacing was cool and wanted to see his name on the broadcast, and I think that's pretty cool. So whether you pull the lucky number 1 pill or get stuck in the back, remember it's all courtesy of J&D Farms, supporting racing, supporting the show, and an official legend in the North-South Racing League. Maybe we get them to come on one night for our redraws. What do you think?
Yeah, that could definitely be a little bit of fun.
So we'll see if we can get that. But we take a look now as we get ready to go with our redraw. People are starting to get populated into our room. And Rhea will kick it off with tonight's fast time with a 15.252. The driver of the number 90, Mr. Dylan Connor picks up the L Speed Shop Fast Time Award. Another fast hot rod this week, Dylan, on a very tricky racetrack. What's the key to getting around here and keeping this car in one piece?
It's such tight quarter racing, and especially what feels like so far tonight's going to be a very free setup. So I think just kind of not abusing the right rear, kind of keeping the right rear on it, and keeping your nose clean is be the recipe for success tonight.
All right, sir. Well, once again, you are the top dog here, and you get to pick 1 through 8. You get to pick your poison as all the numbers are available. What number would you like here tonight?
I went kind of a high number last week, so I'm gonna try 2 this week.
Gonna try 2. Well, you're just gonna move yourself back 1 row. You're gonna start inside row number 2. And you'll be rolling off in 3rd here tonight. So you still get to see that front row. Good. You like the inside start, or would you rather be outside?
Yeah, I think inside will be good here for a little while. I think once we get about 20 laps in and start getting those right rears hot, I think the outside groove will really come in. So, yeah, I like it to start off with.
All right, sir. Well, best of luck here tonight. We'll let you get out there and get some hot laps. Thank you for your time, and we'll hopefully talk to you here at the end of the 125.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Dylan Connor going to roll off in P number 3. Kelly, as you've caught up with our second fastest driver, the driver of the number 4.
Yeah, here now with Brandon Elvis. And Brandon, what kind of challenges are you experiencing here on the racetrack in practice and qualifying?
Yeah, I haven't got comfortable in a car yet at all. Still haven't been here an hour. It just feels like we're not in a racetrack really. Just kind of on top of it, kind of sliding around. I'm still scratching my head, to be honest with you.
Well, you have 125 laps to get it figured out before the end of this night, but for your starting position, everything other than the number 2 is up for grabs for you. What would you like tonight?
Let's go 4.
Number 4 coming off the board, and you will be starting on the inside, but it'll be row number 3, P5 for you tonight. So you think you can get it done from there?
That's maybe so. We just got to get single filed out. I think the top might be the way to be because it's going to be kind of hard to pass here tonight. So we'll see. Maybe we can keep the nose clean on it and be there at the end.
Well, that's all you can hope for, and hopefully we'll be talking to you a little bit later on. Good luck to you, Brandon.
Thank you, guys.
So Brandon Elvis draws P number 5. So that's 2 drivers down and 2 inside lane positions taken.
The next driver is one of my favorite drivers, Mr. Scott Negus, up here in the J&D Farms redraw with that blue oval racing entry. And Scott putting it 3rd quick in qualifying, but this track seems to be a little tricky out there tonight.
I'm finding it really loose tonight. We'll see what happens. Gonna give it a go, though.
All right, sir. Well, the number 2 and the number 4 are off the board. The poll is still out there for you. You can choose any number but 2 and 4. What number would you like?
Number 7, please.
Number 7. It's going to be outside row number 2 for you, so you're going to roll off P4. You like the outside on the initial start, or would you rather be inside?
I'm gonna say the outside is gonna be fine, to be honest, because like I said, it's extremely loose early, so being outside might be a little more comfortable.
All right, sir. Well, we wish you the best of luck. Congratulations on making it into the J&D Farms Top 8 redraw.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Scott going to roll off in P number 4, Kelly. As we close in on the halfway point, you're going to catch up with the Zoofab garage entry of Dustin Shepard.
Here now with Dustin Shepard, and Dustin, 4th fastest in qualifying here tonight, but what kind of lines are you expecting to see in the race?
I think it's going to be a dominant low line. I don't think the outside will get run in enough. I said I could be wrong because I'm not good at long runs, so we'll see.
All right, well, for your starting position here, your choices tonight are 1, 3, 5, 6, or 8. The whole front row is still open for you, so what would you like to take tonight?
Let's do it for Dale. Let's go 3.
Number 3 coming off the board, so you are going to be starting on the inside, but that means you are going to be starting a little bit further back. P7 for you tonight, Dustin.
It's better than nothing, right?
Yeah, that is definitely better than nothing, and as you mentioned, you think it's going to be a bottom side racetrack, so let's see if that inside line will work out for you. Good luck to you tonight, and hopefully we'll be hearing from you a little bit later on.
Right. Appreciate it.
So Dustin Shepard draws P number 7, and halfway through, and we still have the whole front row open now.
Yeah, the front row open. Maybe this is a good omen as the driver of the number 60, Mr. Amos Odegard, making it into the night's J&T Farms Top 8 redraw. A good lap for you tonight. This track seeming to be a little bit tricky. Everybody's talking about how loose it is. How are you finding the conditions?
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree with the rest of the guys. It's pretty loose, so we'll see what happens here. Save some tires and see what happens.
It seems to be fitting your style here. You qualified 5th overall. The good news is for you, the front row is still available. The numbers that have been chosen so far are 2, 3, 4, and 7. So that means 1, 5, 6, and 8 are left to choose from. What number would you like?
I'll go with the 5, see what happens.
Number 5. It's going to be an outside starting spot. It'll be outside row number 3. Can you get it done from there tonight?
I'll do my best. It's a tough group of guys here. Everybody's pretty solid, so I'll try and keep my nose clean and see if we can get to the front.
All right, well, we wish you the best of luck. Congratulations on making it into the J&D Farms Top 8 redraw. We look to see what this 60 can do tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
So Odegard going to roll off P number 6. Kelly, that means the front row still available here tonight.
Yeah, now we're going to move along here, catch up with the driver of the number 33, Braiden Campbell. And Braiden, a lot of drivers are talking about how loose this track is. Is it worse off of 2 or off of 4?
I think it's worse coming up off of 2. I think I got 3 and 4 down pretty good, so.
Well, your choices for tonight, I was leaving you either with the front row or the back of the redraw. So your numbers are 1, 6, or 8. What would you like?
Let's go with number 8.
Going with number 8, and you are going to get one of those front row spots starting on the outside pole here tonight. So it's not the inside lane, but do you think that front row is still going to be a good spot for you?
I think so. Just have to get a good restart or try to get down as early as we can.
All right, well, we'll see if you can get it done. See if you can find your way to the bottom, and maybe we'll be talking to you a little bit later on tonight. Good luck to you, Braiden.
Thanks, guys.
So Braiden Campbell finally takes one of those front row spots, and now we are left with only the pole and P8, Al.
That we are, and it comes down to the driver that is chasing the championship. 5 points back headed in tonight, and Mr. Ryan Johnson is in here tonight talking with us on the J&T Top 8 redraw. I got some good news for you, Ryan.
What's that?
You're either going to start on the pole, that's the good news, or you're going to start P8, that's the bad news.
Kind of same thing as last week. I think I only got like 7th in qualifying, so it's not too bad.
This track's seeming to be really, really tricky right now. Everybody's talking about how loose the car feels. Are you feeling the same thing?
Yeah, it's like a tight loose. Like the front end doesn't seem to want to turn, but when you get it to turn, it snaps out from under you. So it'll be one to hold on to tonight.
All right, we'll see what you can do. All right, numbers to choose from are 1 or 6. What number would you like?
We'll take 1.
All right. Well, the bad news is to blame it on J&D Farms. You're going to be rolling off P number 8 here tonight. Can you keep the car clean and get it up to the front?
Only time will tell, but we'll do our best.
All right, it'll be fun watching you. Best of luck. Have some fun out there tonight. Hopefully we're talking to you here at the end of this one.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so Ryan Johnson going to roll off P number 8, Kelly. That's going to leave Josh Cole. You want to give him the good news?
Yeah, let's catch up now with Josh Cole. And Josh, you put down a fairly quick lap time at the start of qualifying, but a few other drivers were able to beat that. Do you still think you've got the speed for the race, though?
To be honest with you, I don't know. This is a pretty good field of guys, tight field. I don't know. I've been having trouble. I just want to just be consistent and finish.
Well, there's some good news for you, the guys. We're feeling pretty generous here tonight. They have taken every position except for the pole. So by pure luck of the draw, you are starting at the front of this field tonight. Think you can maybe convert that to a win?
I don't know. Like I said, these are a good group of guys, and yeah, hopefully the clean air helps. It's short track racing, and pretty confident with this track, so we'll see what happens.
All right, well, some guys are saying that's going to be hard to pass. Let's see if you can make that 09 car as wide as possible. Good luck to you, Josh.
Thank you.
So Josh Cole falling backwards into P1 here tonight. So let's see what he can do starting from the pole.
I think it's definitely going to see what happens here. Is that will be your J&D top 8 redraw, Kelly, and a mixed bag there, and a very good shuffling of the field for your top 8. It is going to be a good one here tonight. We hope you've enjoyed the top 8 redraw, as that is once again brought to you by J&D Farms, and we thank him for supporting racing, supporting the show, and being an official legend of the North-South Racing League. And just like that, we are ready to go racing here tonight for the Hickory Hustle 125. And this is your starting lineup here tonight. Starting on the pole. And car number 9, you just heard from him. It'll be Josh Cole. Josh Cole will roll off in that P number 1 spot. Outside of him, the 33 of Braiden Campbell. The 90, the Fast Time Award winner here tonight, presented by Al's Speed Shop. Dylan Connor will roll off 3rd. Scott Negus in row number 2. Row number 3, we'll see Brandon Elvis, and outside of him, Amos Odegard. Dustin Shepard and Ryan Johnson will roll out in P number 8. Starting 9th will be Gary Eschen, which will be going to the tail of the field. And your 10th starter will be Bryan Hacker. Chad Macleod and Scott Austin make up row number 6.
Then we're going to have Jeff Bergener in that 21 machine, the Silver Bullet, starting in 13th. 14th, we'll see the 85 of Austin Williams. Adam Gebel rolls off 15th. 16th goes the 12 of Rodney Huntoon. Josh Nelms starts in 17th. 18th will be Randy Nichols. Robbie Clavey back there in 19th. Dan Janjanin 20th. Lewis Flowers rolls off 21st. Brian Troyer in 22nd. Travis Hoefler in 23rd. And Travis Sukup has missed the call to the grid, so he was slated to start 24th, but is not out there.
Is not out there, as that'll be our starting grid for you. Pace car down and away, and we are underway with the Hickory Hustle 125.
Josh Cole leading into turn 1, but he's got that 33 of Braiden Campbell on the outside. The inside line looking to be a little bit stronger here right off the start as he gets further ahead. And there goes the 33 way up the racetrack, and that provides an opportunity for Dylan Connor now. He's to the inside of Braiden Campbell, and he's looking to find the inside of that 09 of Josh Cole, who's sitting way up high through 1 and 2. But the first caution is going to come out quick. It looks like we've got Austin Williams and Rodney Huntoon stuck in the outside wall of turn 2.
Yeah, Huntoon, tough break to him. Austin Williams with heavy front end damage here, as well as yellow comes out on lap number 2. And that was a big wreck off the corner, Kelly, and it looks like just those 2 cars with heavy damage. Let's take a look back here and see if we can spot what happened to Austin Williams and Rodney Huntoon. They were nose to tail. The 91 Gebel underneath them, and Gebel up the racetrack. Got into the 85, and it snapped right up in hard contact to the outside wall for Huntoon. nowhere to go.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Rodney. He was just stuck there on the outside, did not have any sort of chance to get away from that incident, and just puts him pretty much out of this race with some heavy damage. So we're going to see what the call will be tonight here on the choose cone, because that inside line looking to be strong. So a few drivers may elect to roll the dice, go for the outside, jump up a few spots, and hope that they can find a gap to get themselves down to the bottom.
Yeah, and we saw, though, Cole was able to really roll the outside there pretty well on that initial start. Went up to the outside. Question is, Kelly, with these early yellow flags, will we have to see them come down as the choose cone being presented by Mad Plowing here on the front stretch? And it is getting time where you got to start thinking about it. Mad Plowing is your go-to landscaping company in the Oregon-Wisconsin area, specializing in snow removal. It is coming whether you like it or not during the winter, and mowing services all summer long. Whether it's clearing the driveway or keeping your lawn pristine, they've got you covered. Give them a call today at 608-217-3528 for all your landscaping needs. And they are the proud presenting sponsor of our Choose Cone, along with our yellow flag here tonight, which we've had our first one of the night pop out. And a tough break for Huntoon.
Yeah, Williams also down there on pit road, looks to be out of this race as well. So two drivers already having to call the night early on, but we're going to get back to green flag racing as Josh Cole rockets off down the front straightaway and has to keep it low, keep on that inside. Looks like Braiden Campbell had some struggles getting up to speed. He got a big push from Brandon Elvis there, and that checked up that high side, but that is now allowing Dylan Connor to get back to the inside of the 33 of Campbell. And Connor slowly starting to get himself up ahead. The inside line still showing a good amount of pace right now.
Yeah, a little bit deeper in the pack. Ryan Johnson and the number 2 of Hacker side by sides. Odegard right there in front of them, rolling that outside of the speedway. Top 3 cars all single filed, and Negus and Elvis battling it. Door handle to door handle in the turn number 1. Is the 4 of Elvis going to get out in front? Does he have enough room to get down? Not this time in the turn number 3. So they are stacked up 2 by 2 behind them. Now get single file. So now Odegard and Shepard side by side battle here through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Shepard trying to get that inside line to work, try to get around the 60 of Odegard. Odegard hoping that he can get a spot down there on the bottom side, but looks like Ryan Johnson is trying to keep his nose in there. Oh, up towards the front of the field, Dylan Connor just took a peek to the inside of Josh Cole. That 90 car has got some speed, and he wants to get around the 09 of Cole.
Trying to get by him as they have opened up almost a second over Campbell now, who is really feeling the pressures. Now here comes Connor down to the inside. Josh Cole lets him have the inside lane as they are 2 by 2 here at the stripe, and Cole is still your race leader. But that Dylan Connor set the Al Speed Shop Fast Time Award, draws even in the turn number 3. Wheel to wheel off of turn number 4 they come. New race leader, the 90 of Cole at the line.
Oh, and just as that happens, our next caution is going to come out. Looks, I cannot find who it involved. Brian Troyer's got some damage, but I think he was way behind that incident. We'll have to take a look at the replay, see what we got.
Looks like Robbie Clavey may be involved. Let's take a look here and see if we can catch it. It looked like it was up off of the corner. It was well in front of what was going on there. So let's take another look here. We're around with Gary. Oh, the 40 of Lewis Flowers was sideways. The 23 of Eschen straightening them out, but Barney throws the yellow flag quick. And that'll put us underneath our second yellow flag of the evening.
Yeah, it's similar to the only caution that we had last week where a car just got a little too far sideways and the caution was thrown, but this time it was a little bit more contact was involved. But Dylan Connor has taken over the race lead. He will have the first choice at the cone in a couple laps here. We'll have to see what he will elect to do. I'm guessing he's going to take the inside. That is where he has been kind of doing all of his driving tonight.
As we take a look at our early race recap, Dylan Connor, your race leader. We've had 2 cautions so far for 8 lap with 1 lead change so far here this evening, Kelly. And it's a beautiful night. It is 72 degrees with partly cloudy conditions and less than 50% humidity. So a beautiful night for some racing.
Yeah, it's provided some good racing so far, but it has been loose, as the drivers have been saying. Oh man, it was actually the coming off of turn 2 that what really got Josh Cole. He got loose off of that corner, and that cost him a lot of speed, and that allowed the 90 of Connor to get right underneath him.
Everyone doing their zigzagging for tonight's Mad Plowing Choose Cone for the second time. Any surprises there that you saw?
Well, I saw that Brandon Elvis elected to take the outside, and that jumped him up into the front row as Josh Cole elected to stay on the bottom. Seeing Dustin Shepard make a big jump as well, and someone that I was a little surprised taking that high side was Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson on the outside as well. The field rumbles into turns 3 and 4 and into the Sandi Paws restart zone. Green flag is up, and we are back underway for the Hickory Hustle 125, and a good start for your top 2. Josh Cole going to lose a position as it looks like he spun the tires on the start there in that number 9 car.
Yeah, and that is exactly what Shepard wanted. That allowed him to get down to the bottom and take 3rd place away. So the gamble has paid off for that 89 machine. The 38, though, of Ryan Johnson, he's still stuck on the high side, but he is fighting well on the outside. The 55 of Scott Negus, he's keeping pace. So maybe the outside lane is starting to come in here.
It looks like it might be, at least on these restarts, the outside could be there. You can pitch them down, maybe kill the momentum a little bit off turn number 2, which he does right there. Puts the nose out in front of Negus, but Negus able to power back on the inside with a Blue Oval Racing number 55. So he looks to get closer towards the front of the field. Right there behind him, the 60 of Odegard has worked his way. And how about the Nichols and the 69? Started back in the 18th spot, up to 9th so far.
Yeah, now being shown as 10th as he gets a nose, or sorry, 8th as he gets a nose ahead, up 10 spots is what I was trying to get at here. Is there's actually a bit of a cluster at the front of the field. Dustin Shepard looks like he was taking a peek at Brandon Elvis, and Josh Cole also looking to improve his spot as he's looking to get back that spot he lost on the initial restart here. And there he is. He's going to go right down to the bottom underneath the 89. And he's going to clear him off of turn 4. So a very quick move from Josh Cole. Wasted no time getting around the 89 of Shepard.
Yeah, Cole looking very sporty here as he has worked his way back to the 3rd spot. Now they work off the corner. Elvis and Connor single file. And looks like Elvis pretty content right now to kind of just ride there early on in this one, as we already passed the 1/5 mark of the Hickory Hustle 125 as they all work their top 5 cars single file. Scott Negus under attack from the 2 of Bryan Hacker, and Hacker feeling the pressure from the Cintas uniform, number 69 of Randy Nichols, who's working the outside of the racetrack. And I'll be honest with you, Kelly, the outside working much better than we both have anticipated and what the racers seem to anticipate during our warm-up period.
Well, a few of the drivers did say that they thought the outside may come in a little bit later on a long run, but here we are only 30 laps in and after 2 cautions, and we've got that outside line starting to work. Nichols was able to get around Scott Negus as, a little bit further back behind them, Odegard getting Gary Eschen out of the lane and shoving him up the racetrack. So Amos Odegard trying to go underneath Gary Eschen. Those 2 banging doors coming off of turn 4. The 60 not giving the 23 any space. He gives him a little bit of a side check there into the turn 1 and 3 wide coming off of 2. Squeeze 1 card around.
Braiden Campbell around the 23 goes around of Gary Eschen, last week's winner. And Eschen gonna bring out the yellow flag and quickly brings the 23 down the pit road. They came off the corner and they were 3 wide. Scott Austin also involved with that one as Eschen brings the 23 down the pit road. And Kelly, that could have been much bigger than it was. In the, I believe that was Chad Macleod also involved with that. It was. They came out the corner, 3 wide contact between the 5. They got bouncing off each other and just ran out of real estate on the backstretch in hard contact into the outside wall.
Yeah, I don't know if McLeod was aware that they were 3 wide. If he wasn't giving them very much space. He was hoping for maybe one of them to back off and give him a good line into turn 3. But as the 5 and 23 bounced off each other coming off of turn 2, that just sent them right down into McLeod's right rear quarter panel.
Yeah, just the wrong spot, the wrong time, and 3 wide off of turn number 2 does not normally work. And unfortunately for those drivers, they are involved in a yellow flag here. Is Connor still your race leader? Chad Macleod on pit road getting some of that damage fixed. It looks like Eschen has pulled the 23, so that just tells you how tough the racing is, and a tough break for him too, Kelly. He had worked himself all the way up inside the top 10.
Yeah, tough break for those drivers. Eschen has called it a night, so a few drivers out of this race. Huntoon, Williams, and now Eschen are out as we pass the mad plowing choose cone. And once again, Dylan Connor the inside and Brandon Elvis trying to make that outside work. And this is a little less surprising now as we see a few other drivers up there. Ryan Johnson now sitting outside of row 2, and I think he's one to watch. He was really making that outside lane work.
That he was, as they work down here. Lights go out around the racetrack as the lights have been extinguished for the 3rd time tonight. As is Dylan Connor and Brandon Elvis. Front row, Josh Cole and Brian Johnson. Now in row number 2, Dustin Shepard and Bryan Hacker, row number 3. Negus and Nichols, row number 4. Green flag is up and we are back underway.
Once again, Josh Cole not getting a good restart there. And Bryan Hacker getting put sideways a little bit by Randy Nichols. Hacker able to hold on to it off of turn 4. And now Odegard going up the racetrack right into the side of Scott Austin. So chaos all around the track as drivers jockey for position.
Negus goes
gets
around.
turned.
Scott Negus around on the back stretch. Adam Gebel involved as well. And Amos Odegard, hard contact to the inside concrete as the mad plowing yellow flag gets plowed out for the 4th time this evening, as that all came off a Calamity Corner, which is turn number 2. Let's go on board with Scott and take a look and see what happens. He had the 21 of Bergener behind him, and just slight contact there with Bergener, and around he went. And some hard contact there. Odegard nowhere to go as well. Let's see if we can get a better look at this one. Scott underneath the number 2 of Hacker, and looks like Bergener just got through the corner a little bit better than the 55 did, and they just could not get off of each other in hard contact for the blue oval racing entry of Scott Negus to bring out our 4th yellow flag of the evening.
Josh Cole coming over the radio having some issues, sounds like getting his car to shift on these restarts. That may be what's causing these problems that on these these starts that are causing him to drop back and allowing the guys to get in line in front of him. And it's really been checking up that bottom lane too, so we'll see if Cole can get it figured out, maybe get this next start a little bit better. As we pass the mad plowing choose cone once again, we've got Connor to the inside, Elvis to the outside, then Cole, Johnson, looks like Shepard, Hacker, and then Nichols electing to take the high side over the bottom. So then we got Nichols, then Austin for your top 8.
And it looked like Bergener got the choose cone, ran it right over. That's our first casualty of the season, Kelly.
There was a few drivers called a few times earlier this season, but I don't think there'll be any issue for Bergener since he's already at the back of the field.
No. It's been pretty entertaining so far at the start of this one, and If you're that inside row and Cole calling that out over team communications that he's having some transmission issues, how worried are you on that inside lane?
I'm sure Dustin Shepard's hoping he can get it started this time. And here we go down into off of turn 4. Dylan Connor rolling off into 1 now, and that time was a lot better for Josh Cole. So whatever was the problem, he's got it solved. He may have just found a different way to shift it. And now he is charging up to the inside of Brandon Elvis, trying to see if he can get back into second place. Elvis getting a good run off of turn 4. He's now completely clear of that 0-9. And now just behind Josh Cole, we got Johnson and Shepard banging doors through 1 and 2.
Yeah, top 3 cars get single filed out. Then it's this great battle between Ryan Johnson and Dustin Shepard in that Zufab garage entry. They're working it through turns 1 and 2 and up the back stretch into turns 3. Bid for your race lead. Elvis takes a look to the inside. Can he make something happen? It's going to be Connor at the line, but Brandon Elvis looking hot to trot right now, trying to get a run on the 90 of Cole off of the corner number 2, and into 3 they come. Connor gave him that inside lane. The outside lane still prevailing so far, and here comes Josh Cole. It's a 3-car battle for your race lead.
Yeah, Josh Cole trying to see if that outside lane will be a little bit faster and if he can follow Connor through, or now he's looking at the bottom, seeing if Elvis is going to make up any ground. So Josh Cole looking to just see where he can go and try to improve his position, because right behind him, Shepard and Johnson are still battling it out. And Bryan Hacker also trying to see if he can find his way through, as Nichols and Campbell, I think that was, or no, it was Nichols and Austin making contact through 1 and 2.
And Brandon Elvis showing up here as he'll move on by. As he's moving up through this race field, and he is your new race leader. Now Josh Cole and Connor leaning on each other back there for the number 2 spot. Cole said 8 wheels turn better than 4, excuse me, I'm coming through, and he takes that number 2 spot. Connor with a crossover move down the front stretch.
Yeah, good crossover there for Dylan Connor to see if he can make that inside line work now, as Josh Cole having to defend on the high side. Now we're starting to see that both lines are running pretty even right now, so we'll see which one of these drivers is able to prevail. It is a big pack of cars. No one has been able to pull away at all, even with all this battling throughout the field. Josh Cole is going to get himself back clear of Dylan Connor. Now he's starting to take a look maybe to the outside of Elvis. Coming through 3 and 4. Oh, big contact. Shepard goes sideways. Somehow he hangs on to it. Now he's going to come up the racetrack. He's going to get into Nichols. They're going to be now 3 wide coming off of turn 2.
And Shepard wisely backs out of it. And now Scott Austin fills that hole underneath the 89 of Shepard. So Shepard on the outside. And what a save that was. That might be the save of the race right there for the 89 of Dustin Shepard, who finds himself in that 7th spot. Bryan Hacker up to 6th, and he's got his championship rival right there behind him, and they came in only 5 points back, but they're all chasing the 38 of Ryan Johnson, who sits in that 4th spot. This is a great battle. Braiden Campbell in the 33, and how about the one of Travis Hoefler? We haven't really talked much about him tonight, Kelly. He's up 13 spots to the 10th spot right now as he rides behind Campbell off of turn number 2.
Yeah, one of 2 drivers that has gained 13 spots throughout the race, the other one being Randy Nichols. So he's been making a lot of moves. Now he's looking to make another. Oh, actually gets into the left rear quarter panel of Campbell just there for a moment. And now he's going to have to try to get his way through on the bottom. He's got his nose there, but can't quite get it off of turn 2. Now lunges ahead in 3, coming off of 4. Who's going to have a better run? Bit of a sideways move from Hoefler, as he's going to have to back off and regain control of his car.
Is that battle? Lewis Flowers and the 21 of Bergener right there behind them as well in your picture. And that is a great battle here in this racetrack. Really starting to get racy, Kelly. I think everybody wants to top last week, and we might see that here tonight. This has been a great race as we close in on the halfway point of the Hickory Hustle 125. And we got multiple side-by-side action. Up front is still Elvis and Cole. Connor, though, starting to feel the pressure from that 38 car. Your top 4 cars all single file nose to tail. How about Randy Nichols, the driver out of Texas, up to the 5th spot. He's closing in. wants to make it a 5-car battle for your race lead.
Yeah, Josh Cole is getting pretty much right on the bumper of Brandon Elvis for a couple of laps there, but has now dropped back just a little bit. And that is going to be, a bit of a checkup off of 4. Is that going to allow opportunity for Connor? No, Connor not quite able to get there, but he has now got Ryan Johnson all over him as Randy Nichols now starts closing in. And now we're also seeing Bryan Hacker getting a little bit closer. We've got the top 6 pretty much nose to tail here coming down the front straightaway as we get onto lap number 65.
That they do, and they come up off the corner to the 90 of Connor, trying to make something happen. Cole's up there in that second lane. Get a little bit loose that time. Here comes Ryan Johnson. He'll take a peek to the inside under Connor. He can't do anything with it in the Cintas 69 car. He says, aren't you guys want to battle for that inside? We are going to go to the outside, trying to cover you all up with this uniform. Up on the outside, Nichols into the 4th spot in the turn number 1.
Yeah, Randy Nichols trying to make it work on the high side as Josh Cole may have missed his apex there. He went way up the track, and that has allowed Dylan Connor to get to his inside. So we've got a battle for 4th and a battle for 2nd going on here. And that 4th place battle quickly resolved as Nichols is able to get through. And now Cole once again going up the track. Nichols nearly going 3 wide up the middle. That 69 car has got some speed. He's looking for the inside now, trying to force his car down there. Can't quite find the gap as Connor closes the door on him. Dylan Connor is trying to fight off Josh Cole. Meanwhile, he's got Randy Nichols trying to just force himself into this battle.
A great battle here as Elvis is liking it. He's opened up to a half-second lead. As this battle for your number 2 spot is a good one. They are leaning on each other once again. Connor going to take the spot. Here comes Nichols to the inside as Brian Schroyer has spun the 36 car, but I think it's going to get it back going. And we do. We still keep it green.
Yeah, he dives down to the safety of the apron as the field goes by. Dylan Connor now has 2nd place completely secured. Josh Cole having to fight against Randy Nichols, who is continuing this charge from the back of the field. Nichols started all the way back in 18th and now finds himself in 4th and trying to get it, make it even one better here as he goes side by side with Josh Cole. Cole getting a good run off of 2. And there is going to be another caution. Let's see where it is. Looks to be Josh Nelms turned around on the back straightaway.
Josh Nelms in that 00 car getting pointed back out onto the racetrack after a little off-road excursion. Let's take a look here. The cameras caught it late. Not sure if there was any contact there. Let's go on board with Dustin Shepard, and Nelms just lost the handle off turn number 2. As we come back to live pictures, all of our race leaders coming down pit road for their pit stop.
Yeah, our first stop of the night here. Looks like a couple of drivers elected to stay out. Seems Gebel, Hacker, and Flowers have all stayed out on the track. Gebel actually came down on lap 41, so he may be trying an alternate strategy here as Brandon Elvis actually loses out to both Connor and Johnson on that pit road battle.
And Bryan Hacker stayed out with Lewis Flowers as well, like you were alluding to. Take a look at our race analysis, race recap for tonight. We've run 75 of the 125 laps. We've had 5 cautions. For 23, your race leader is Adam Gebel. And I believe that lead change number should be up to 3 as they go through the choose cone presented by Mad Plowing. And Adam Gebel to the inside. Bryan Hacker to the outside. Ryan Johnson going to move up 2 rows, Kelly, with those fresher tires and some gas in the car. He'll restart in P number 4.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting restart here as Gebel and Hacker are on older tires, especially Hacker. And meanwhile, behind him, he's got Flowers and Johnson. Johnson's going to be on completely fresh tires. He'll be trying to see if he can just immediately charge around these lead 2. So we may get a little bit of chaos depending on the pace difference.
Adam Gebel, your current race leader. I've been up front for 3 laps as we head into our Sandi Paws restart zone is the man plowing yellow flag going to get put back in its holster. We are back underway, and a good start by Gebel. Able to jump way out in front of the number 2 of Bryan Hacker. Lewis Flowers now side by side. They go 3 wide down the backstretch. Is this going to work out? Ryan Johnson gets turned. Lewis Flowers sideways. Johnson goes around now. Trouble for one of your point leaders. As yellow flag comes out, Ryan Johnson got put through the spin cycle, but somehow everyone avoided the 38.
Yeah, there's barely any damage on that car, if any damage, so he has gotten himself very lucky there, getting spun right in the meat of the field, and somehow everyone's able to avoid him, and he's able to avoid any sort of catastrophic damage.
Let's go high above with our blimp cam to see this yellow flag here. They were 3 wide, and Connor down to the inside. Lewis trying to give a little bit of room down there. And Johnson had to chase up, got into the side of Randy Nichols, and there's some slight contact with that number 38 car, but everybody going to be able to keep it pointed in the right direction. Don't look like anybody suffered a lot of damage there, but both Flowers and Negus coming down pit road now as we come back to some live pictures to get their service done. Adam Gebel is still your race leader. Well, 3 wide did not work there, Kelly.
No, this has been a couple times tonight that we have had drivers go 3 wide and it not work out. So we'll see if drivers are a little more cautious going forward. But we saw that Dylan Connor has got a lot of pace on those fresh tires. He was trying to make the moves. So is Bryan Hacker. Hacker is on the same tires he started with, and he was actually starting to make a look to the inside of Adam Gebel there. So it seems like Hacker has still got some pace. We'll see if he's going to be able to maintain that, though, with Dylan Connor right behind him.
That he will, and see as we head into our Mad Plowing Choose Cone. The top 2 go conventional. Everyone else now trying to figure out which lane they would like to restart in.
All right, we'll do one more lap around the field or around the track here, and we will get back underway. Gebel to the inside, Hacker on the outside. Let's see if Hacker can maybe find a little more pace on the restart. He actually dropped back quite a bit on Gebel before he was able to mount a charge back up there. So if he can get a little bit of a better start, we may see him challenge for the race lead right off the bat.
That we may, as the field getting those tires clean. Pace truck to the safe haven of pit road into the Sandi Paws restart zone, and Adam Gebel not waiting for anything is on that loud pedal first. Here comes Dylan Connor up underneath the number 2 of Bryan Hacker. Battle for second off of turn number 2. Elvis to the outside fence, trying to push that out there, and everybody now knows that hourglass is starting to run out here tonight as the field rumbles through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Hacker still on those old tires, and Connor able to get to the inside. So Connor slowly moving forward, and now he's got a nose to the inside. Oh, Hacker got a little sideways off of 4. But now Dylan Connor to the inside of Adam Gebel. Connor going for the race lead as Bryan Hacker is in all sorts of trouble back there behind him.
Yeah, he's got the bumper. They're going to go try to go 3 wide once again off turn number 2. Randy Nichols hot to trot as he's made a little bit of contact with Elvis. Goes up the racetrack. Hang on to it, Brandon. And Elvis hard into the outside wall to bring out our Mad Plowing yellow flag for the 7th time here tonight. Jeff Bergener around. And another case of the 3 wide not working, and some heavy right front damage to the number 4 car as he heads down here on the pit road. Let's take a look back at this one to see what happened. Randy Nichols up the middle and hooked the 5 just a little bit. Got down in the corner and just a little bit of contact. Might have been some net code, but Josh Cole there, and hard head-on collisions for both Bergener and the 4 of Brandon Elvis. So a tough break there for those drivers. with some heavy, hard hits there. Now Bryan Hacker and Adam Gebel coming down pit road here, Kelly, with 36 laps to go. It's going to be tough to get back through the field, I think.
Yeah, it is. Then I don't know if the pace difference is really going to be all that much. There hasn't been enough laps really to burn off any of the tires from the guys in front, so may not be the right call for the strategy here tonight for Hacker and Gebel, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they can make it work. We still have a few laps to go, so once we get back green flag racing, let's see if we can see the 2 and 91 charge to the field.
Well, you know as well as I do that Hacker likes to make a liar out of us, so. Some housekeeping, though. Tough break. Travis Hoefler unable to get the 45 to fire up here. Electrical issues on that car tonight. Rodney Huntoon, Austin Williams, Gary Eschen, Chad Macleod, and I believe Jeff Bergener now moving to behind the pit wall and will be classified as out of tonight's race. Dan Janjanin has been down on pit road for some time, and now Brandon Elvis as well, here with 33 laps to go.
Yeah, we'll see what Scott Austin could do. He's one of those drivers that started a little bit further back, started 12th, is now running 2nd. And we got Dustin Shepard and Randy Nichols right behind. So a lot of fast drivers still up towards the front of the field here, and not a lot of laps left. So these guys are probably going to have their elbows out and pushing hard for this race win.
Yeah, taking a look at some information for Randy Nichols, currently in that 4th position, as you alluded to. Into the Sandi Paws restart zone and kicking the kitty litter out, the 90 O'Connor to the race lead, as he's got Scott Austin working the outside of the racetrack. Here comes Dustin Shepard, and we all know that 69 of Randy Nichols has been fast all night long. Now finds himself sniffing some clean air as they work off of turn number 4.
Yeah, Dustin Shepard trying to make that bottom side work, but the outside lane looking like it's got some pace. Oh, a bit of a slow exit off of 2 for for Austin, and that forced Randy Nichols to kind of check up a little bit there, as Scott Austin is trying to make his car as wide as possible. Each time off of the corner, Randy Nichols is getting a good run, but Austin is inserting himself in the outside line. Now Nichols has got his nose there. He's preventing Austin from getting up in front of him, so he is going to try to make the outside lane work. Austin still trying to get in front of the 69 of Nichols.
Nichols down around to the outside now, draws even down the backstretch in the turn number 3. And Nichols rolls the outside, gets a little bit free, but carries that momentum. Randy Nichols trying to take that number 2 spot. Josh Cole, Dustin Shepard still back there battling 2x2 as well. Campbell working his way underneath Ryan Johnson. Johnson went through the spin cycle a few laps ago, finds himself now in P number 6 as the battles are all behind Dylan Connor, who is loving seeing what he sees. A little bit of contact off of turn number 2 between Austin and Shepard. Or Nichols, excuse me. Nichols still works it outside, and it looks like it might be working up there.
Yeah, just behind Dylan Connor, there is 4 rows of 2x2 racing, and Connor is just starting to open up that gap, and he's got a half second now over Nichols and Austin, who cannot figure out which one of these guys wants to take the spot. They are both battling for it tooth and nail, and each time they each lap they stay side by side, it's allowing Connor to get just a little bit further ahead of them.
That they are, as Connor has led 52 laps here tonight. As they still look at this battle back here, Josh Cole has gotten around the 89 of Shepard, and now looking to chase down the top, these 2 drivers in front of him. The finish line number 5 and the Cintas 69 of Nichols. Good to see Randy Nichols back out on the racetrack with us. Missed last week. Trying to make a nice rebound as he goes for that number 2 spot around the number 5 of Scott Austin. And Scott Austin looking in the mirror with 22 laps to go and sees the guys he's battling that championship battle with, and they are just a few spots behind him, but he leads that one, so he can come out of here leading the points if it were to end right now. 20 laps to go right here at the line.
Yeah, he's hoping to get another spot, maybe 2, and really get that points lead here tonight, as Johnson and Hacker are behind him, but not by much. So let's see if Scott Austin can maybe improve his standings right now. But Nichols starting to slowly get ahead. And just behind them, it is a 3-wide battle. Dustin Shepard had a bit of a mistake going through 3 and 4. And that allowed Hacker to get his nose in there, but he had to back out, and that's allowing Shepard and Johnson continuing to battle. Nichols now completely ahead of Scott Austin, so our top 4 have got single file, and now they are all trying to chase down Dylan Connor.
Bryan Hacker trying to put those fresh tires to good use, and has a good turning point. And there, as we watch that battle, Josh Nelms right there as well in that 00 car, trying to make his way out. Travis Hoefler and Braiden Campbell rounding out your top 10. As now Hacker works to the right rear quarter panel of the 89 of Shepard. That would be for the 6th position. Meanwhile, your top 4 cars single file it out. And Nichols trying to chase down your race leader, but this battle for that 7th spot has concluded. Hacker around him. Now we'll set chase to the 38 of Ryan Johnson. As they all work around this racetrack, Dylan Connor, though, your race leader, by about 5 car lengths down the backstretch, is Brian Troyer in trouble, and he makes his way to the pit road. We hear 14 laps to go. We stay green.
Yeah, Dylan Connor still sitting about 7/10 ahead of Randy Nichols, and each lap he's going a little bit faster and continuing to open up that gap. It is not by much, though. It is about 0.06 of a second, at least that last lap, that he was faster than Nichols. That time, though, nearly a full 10th. So Dylan Connor getting some great pace out of those tires ever since he changed them on lap 73.
Now take a look at the times this time by. Let's see the lap times. And Connor consistent with a 15:67. Next car faster was Josh Cole, who matched his lap times. Everyone else in 6s and 7s as well. So pretty evenly matched here, as Dylan Connor continues to lead this time by. He'll see the tie 5s. 10 laps to go from Flagman Barney. Is this one quickly coming to an end? Dylan Connor leads over Randy Nichols and Scott Austin. And the gap is actually growing a little bit.
Yeah, he is still opening up that gap. So Connor is getting all of that the life out of his tires. This time, last time though, it was Nichols a little bit faster, but it's not going to be enough at this rate. So Nichols has got to find something. He's got to close up that gap to Dylan Connor, or hope that Connor makes a mistake.
Oh, Travis Hoefler sideways. Adam Gebel nowhere to go. They make a little bit of contact. We are watching the Hoefler battle. Nelms Campbell going to get by. Here comes Amos Odegard, who got back onto the lead lap during that last yellow flag. He's looking for a top 10 finish here tonight in that number 60 car. And what a good rebound that would be after being involved in early incident. He sits in that 11th spot. This time off the corner, though, 6 to go for Dylan Connor, trying to sweep the night, set the Al Speed Shop Fast Time Award. And this time by, sees the high 5 from Barney. 5 laps to go here in the Hickory Hustle 125.
Yeah, fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying, looking to win the race here as he's continuing to hold a gap over Randy Nichols. It's been shrinking a little bit, but with under 5 laps to go now as they cross the line, Nichols is running out of time. He has got to get there faster, and I don't think it's going to be enough.
A 7/10 of a second, maybe a late race charge here, but 3 laps to go. And a gap still at 7/10 of a second. Scott Austin in 3rd, as he's got a nice comfortable gap back to the 09 of Josh Cole. Bryan Hacker has gotten around Ryan Johnson for the 5th spot. Shepard 7th, Campbell, Nelms, and Hoefler with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, Nelms pressuring on the outside of Braiden Campbell, trying to see if he can make the outside lane work one last time here tonight. He had a good run through 1 and 2, and he's side by side now coming down to turn 3s with Josh Nelms getting his nose ahead, looking to take 8th place.
Final trip off of turn number 2 for the 90 of Dylan Connor. Made a perfect night out of the Hickory Hustle 125, and Connor is victorious here tonight. Nichols will finish second, Austin third, Cole, Hacker, Johnson, Shepard, Campbell, Nelms, and Hoefler. Your top 10 in a great race here tonight. As Bryan comes up, revs his engine, congratulating the 90 of Dylan Connor. Which, if memory serves me right, Kelly, that is his first win of the season.
I believe it is, yeah. The only other winners have been Curtis, Hacker, Austin, Johnson, and Eschen. So, first win of the season for Dylan Connor, despite having 4 Speed Shop Fast Time awards. He's now finally been able to convert one of them into a win.
He parks it down here in America's most famous short track, Victory Lane, as we get ready to head downstairs for tonight's post-race show, and it is brought to us by SimRacerHub.com, and that's the place where leagues keep it organized. From schedules and rosters to points, stats, and standings, SimRacer Hub makes running a league simple so drivers can focus on racing. If you're looking to track your league the easy way, check out SimRacerHub.com, the official post-race show of the North-South Racing League. And Kelly, we are headed downstairs to a very excited Dylan Connor, and you have caught up with him.
Yeah, here now with Dylan Connor. And Dylan, it was a wild race out there. How did you manage to get through on the tail end of this race?
Man, I just knew that, like I said at the beginning, I knew he was going to have to save that right rear. As it started to go away with me on that first half of the race before we got that caution, and I knew that was going to be the prime time to pit if anybody was going to pit. I feel like if you went any later, you kind of just lost your track position. So made the right call right there, had a good pit stop finally this season, and yeah, was able to, it was lights out there at the end of the race.
Well, this win here is going to keep your championship hopes alive. What are you thinking about your chances here coming into the last few races of the season?
Yeah, I really needed this one. I mean, I was 23 back coming into this race, which doesn't seem like a lot, but as competitive as this field is every week, it's pretty substantial. So I really needed a night like this to kind of close it in and tighten up the points battle. And I like the last few tracks. So hopefully we can do everything right like we done tonight, and we'll see how it turns out at the end of the year.
Well, next week we're going to be going to New Smyrna, and you're going to be having to start from the back. Do you think you're going to be able to make your way through the field there?
Yeah, I think I really love that track. It's probably one of the best ones on the sim for me. It's going to be another one of those places. It's going to always be like that in these street stocks. I feel like it's just be patient and keep the nose clean, and that's going to be your best chance to get up there. And also just playing the strategy right too. When you're so far back like that, you kind of have room to when you want to pit and how you want to pit and things like that. So I think if we play our cards right, I think we'll have a shot at the end of that race.
All right, Dylan. Well, before we let you go, we're going to give you the floor here. Who would you like to thank for your win here tonight?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank my dad for spotting for me and all the help. It makes it a whole lot easier when you got somebody in these long races to help you out with all that stuff. I like to thank my main sponsors, Per Year Race Parts, Chris and Alan Per Year with Caldwell Banker Elite, all my family and friends for all the support and watching the broadcast, and you guys for putting on a great show to be able to go back and watch.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming and talking to us, Dylan. We will hopefully hear from you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That is Dylan Connor, your winner here tonight. And Al, he's kept his championship hopes alive, but now we're going to be moving on to another driver who made quite the climb through the field.
Yeah, quite the climb, and I'm just going to say that he is the RC2 Graphics Solution hard charger of the race. That would be the driver out of Texas, the 69 of Randy Nichols. And Randy, congratulations on winning the RC2 Graphics Solution hard charger of the race, man. How'd you get it done? It looked like you were pretty much using everything but the catch fence out there to pass cars.
Yeah, that was it was interesting. I mean, this track is so bumpy, and it was loose as hell all night, so it was just one of those things of just, try to stick it wherever you can, and hope it actually sticks and keep traction. So you're burning the right rear off of it the entire race.
You got put in some precarious positions out there in 3 wide. How intense was it, knowing that you had to be so easy and try not to burn up these cars?
It's one of those things of just like, you gotta take the position when you got it, like when the opportunity presents itself. But at the same time, you kind of wanted to bide your time and be patient. But even then, it was incredibly difficult to even do that. So, it was just a matter of kind of, I guess, luck tonight.
Well, better to be lucky than good anytime, sometimes they say. But I think you had a little bit of both on your side. Next week, the series heads to New Smyrna Speedway, another good racetrack. What do you think we can expect out of the 69 car next week?
Probably about the same. It's gonna be interesting just because of the fact that with that track, you gotta, if you're on the inside line, it's gonna be hard to make any passes because you get people on the outside that are gonna pinch you down and everything, and so it's gonna be really tough battles next week. I think just kind of like tonight, just on a much more narrow track.
All right, sir. Well, we look forward to seeing what you can do. Maybe you get that one spot higher here on the podium for the post-race show presented by SimRacerHub.com. But we know you got some people to thank that make it all happen for you.
Yeah, I just want to thank my girl. She watches all the racing I do, so I appreciate her support. My dad tunes in and watches, so it's always nice to have the family supporting. And then obviously thanks to you guys putting on a great broadcast week in, week out.
All right, Randy, congratulations on your runner-up finish here tonight. Go celebrate this one. We'll see you next week at New Smyrna.
All right, thanks, guys.
Randy Nichols going to finish P2, Kelly, and it was an exciting race. And you're catching up with a driver of the number 5 who saw himself in some tight battles as well.
Yeah, catching up now with the driver of number 5, Scott Austin. And Scott, the result here tonight is going to help close up the points gap. What do you think it's going to take to get the job done in these last few races?
More of what we did tonight. I felt like we ran average at best, but we had things fall our way. We stayed clean enough, and we were able to get up front just by strategy. And like I said, so a few things falling our way. So if that could happen in the last couple races of the season, we'll be in good shape.
Well, it looked like a little bit of chaos out there on the racetrack. What was it like being in the middle of that field?
You nailed it. It was chaos. I started in the wrong line a few times in the beginning and just kept getting freight trained. Eventually ended up taking it 3 wide and unfortunately caused some chaos, but I think just a racing deal. Everybody's pushing hard. Nobody wants to get freight trained, so that's what it takes to get to the front sometimes. Yeah, it was just more of that all race long, racing side by side. Sometimes the high side was good, sometimes the low side was good depending on your tires, so it was eventful, that's for sure.
Well, next week we're going to be moving along to New Smyrna. What are you expecting out of that track?
That's a good one. It's a hard to pass track. The lines are just different enough in each corner where the high side prevails in one corner and the low side prevails in the other. So it'll create, like tonight, a lot of side-by-side racing, which should be a good show.
All right, Scott. Well, before we let you go here, who would you like to thank for your 3rd place run tonight?
Yeah, first and foremost, the league putting on a good place to race. You guys are broadcasting it. Austin Designs Finish Line, both on the car. Bryan Hacker in my Discord every week, talking strategy and timing and things like that. Papa Austin at home, he always watches us and supports, which is cool. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming out and talking to us, Scott. Hopefully we'll be hearing from you next week.
All right, you guys, take it easy.
All right, that was Scott Austin, our 3rd place finisher, and I believe after points will be calculated, he may be in a tie for the points lead. We'll have to wait and see, though.
That we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be very tight there, and it all depends on that with just 3 races remaining. New Smyrna, Lanier, and the finale at the fairgrounds. That's what we have coming up here. Let's take a look at your finishing order. You can see where your favorite driver finished here, Kelly. Some final thoughts from Hickory. I think this just shows how tough the racing is. Our points leader, Bryan Hacker, for coming home in 5th. You know, just 2 spots behind Scott Austin, edging out Ryan Johnson, who's right there battling for your race lead as well. Dylan Connor inside the top 5 in points. He's going to take a good swing and move up, tighten that group up as well, as everyone is looking for the finale at the fairgrounds in just 3 short weeks. But some great racing here tonight.
Yeah, fantastic racing here tonight, and we saw it all throughout the field, side-by-side battles, and it eventually did slow down and get into a single file there, and Dylan Connor was able to run away with it. Some great driving from him here tonight, just keeping himself out of trouble and just putting down fast laps all night long.
Yeah, some fast laps there, and comes home victorious for the first time in 2025. I tell you, Kelly, my takeaway, a lot more side-by-side action than what we had thought about. Thought we were going to see in the pre-race show. We thought it was just going to be, for how it looked, right around the bottom. And once again, these drivers really just figuring out how to go and how to put a great show on week in and week out. And that is why we love the North-South Racing League, isn't it?
Yeah, there's always fantastic racing here, and it's always why we like to come back every single week, and I'm sure New Smyrna next week is not going to be any different.
Yeah, Smyrna going to be a good one. You will want to tune in, but that'll do it for the SimRacerHub.com post-race show, where leagues do stats. Check them out at SimRacerHub.com. And Kelly, we would like to thank SimRacerHub.com along with Sandi Paws Rescue for being our title sponsor of the North-South Racing League Street Stock Series here in 2025. RC2 Promotions and RC2 Graphic Solutions, Wizards Designs, Austin Designs, ZooFab Garage, J&G Hardwood Flooring, and Mad Plowing for being proud sponsors of this season's 2025 North-South Racing League's Street Stock Series. And until next week, Kelly, I hope you keep it wheels down and get on the racetrack. I know you said life's been a little hectic for you lately, but hopefully you'll find some time to get out there and get some racing done. We hope you get some racing done, and we thank you for tuning in to the Turn 3 Racing Network. For Kelly Dahl, I am Upstate Al. Thank you for watching tonight's race. Good night, everybody.